All right, welcome. If we're just tuning in here, I'm gonna look at. Got a couple names on watch today, right? Facebook for sure. Facebook is getting really close here to breakout or a reversal, in my opinion. And we're gonna take a look at APPS. Wow, APPS really good. Strong breakout today as well. So, man, I love APPS. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just insane. So yeah, we are live. So I got to start up. Give me just a couple seconds. Facebook right here at these levels, right at the 200-day moving average, is getting really exciting. Really like. I really like Facebook at these levels for good risk reward. It's one of my favorite setups right now. We've seen the same thing with Nike happen. Really like it. All right. Yeah, let's take a look. We'll take a look at any. I should put any stock. Yeah, any in. Let's take a look. I really like this range, right? Yeah, we're gonna wait for a pullback, honestly, because if we look at this chart, I mean, we could still see some downside all the way down here. So I'm gonna wait for a pullback on this one for sure. That's what SPY is doing. Okay. Yeah, geez, APPS. I don't know what's happening with this thing lately, but it would be a good. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Thanks, JC. I just want to say that APPS. I looked at the fib. So there's these fib levels on stocks, and they usually bounce off of them. APPS looks really strong, but wouldn't be a bad idea to take. I love APPS, but it might not be a bad idea to take some off the table if you have a lot of shares. We're up 4% today. I don't know if we go much higher, so I know it's my growth stocks. I always say how much I like them, not to ever even think about selling them. But when we're up 4%, we've been on such a runner on APPS. I'm gonna take a few shares off, see if I can't get them cheaper today. If it does just go up 50%, whatever. But I do think it might have a little bit of pullback in the next week. It needs some consolidation because APPS has been on an absolute tear. So man, oh, James, XP's ripping too. Wow, we got APPS doing really good. XP, wow, look at this XP. So let's talk about a perfect flag breakout. This was our flag. Wow, wow, this is perfect. I was talking about this yesterday. That's our flag on APPS. Amazing. So my my two top holdings today are absolutely killing it. Tiger and Futu are still down a little bit. That's whatever. Um, nice. Wow, look at APPS. We're almost up 5%. Yeah, so names looking really good. APPS, like I said, there's no need to talk about APPS and XP. I think when growth starts coming back, we can just expect this as a new normal for these to just rip every day. Like I said, XP should be at least 100. APPS should be at least 200. So, like I said, I'm just kind of expecting these names to just have days like this now that growth is starting to kind of come back a little bit. Don't mean to be like, expect anything from the market, but I kind of am at this point. These stocks are very undervalued, and I love them. So wow, really good stuff from some hyper growth names. Am I a little upset that Futu and Tiger aren't running today? A little bit. I don't know. These names seem pretty strong. We got some consolidation, but we're still not out of the woods for China names. So, um, Hopefully those will catch a little bit of steam today. Let's look at some other names that are performing well today. We talked about Okijin yesterday. We've been talking about Okijin for a while right now. I really like the setup on Okijin as well, but yeah, XP just keeps grinding higher. Yeah. Very, very cool. Okay, I'm going to look at Twitch real quick. I need to make sure we're on the right tabs. Okay, great. Yeah, we talked about OCG and yesterday. That's what I was going to bring up. Okijin looks really, really strong. We hit almost $10 in after hours. Crazy, crazy. So when we talk about the power of a chart, we've been talking about this for a while. We've been coiling really, really tightly, and we exploded. So I hope to see some upside today. I did take a few shares. You know, that stock looks really good. I know they're pending some news as well, which could, be really good. So yes, lots of names that are looking very good. Yeah, XP's going really high. APPS almost 4% today. Yeah. Obviously, we can see some of our favorite growth names really doing good today. We'll really love Futu and Tiger are on down, which is kind of annoying a little bit. And then, wow, growth is doing really, really good today. I also went to, wow, look at APPS. We're just ripping. DMTK. Let's take a look at this. DMTK is really looking like it's ready to break out soon. Yeah, growth looking really, really good today. Most definitely. When we take a look at Tiger too, yeah, Tiger's still not out of the woods. I really don't like this look on Tiger and Yala. I mean, these really aren't the best looks I've ever seen. That's for sure. Or sorry, Futu. Yeah. Looks like we're gonna have a rough day from Tiger and Futu. Hopefully, it's not too bad. I definitely am gonna take a little bit off the table on Tiger and Futu. I really, really like Tiger and Futu long term. The problem is not really a problem. I just don't. What's the word? I'm not a big. Right now, it just China names are still looks like we're not out of the woods. So I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully, we'll start to see. Maybe we'll see a run up on Tiger Futu today. We'll have to see. But yeah. I'm gonna take a little bit off of Tiger and Futu. I really am this morning. I just don't see. I like Tiger and Futu at these levels, but I'm just gonna take a little bit off the table. They just look pretty weak to me. Unfortunately, they're just a little bit weak in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. I'm still really bullish on them, but until the sentiment changes, like I don't know, it's hard. Yeah, we can take a look at any. But yeah, strong, strong from growth this morning. Love to see it. Any, I don't think is too ready yet. I want to see. I mean, I would ideally want to see a flag form. But yeah, we could be there soon. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, when we see our growth names come back to life, we see, Futu and Tiger are just not doing well today. APPS, DMTK looks really good. A lot of strong names. Unfortunately, like I said, Tiger and Futu aren't holding their weight. So I am going to cut a little bit of Tiger and Futu today. Yeah. I am going to cut just a little bit. what I did is I just kind of dropped Tiger. For my percent wise, I dropped Tiger a little bit and Yala, and I moved it back into XP and APPS. These have a lot of relative strength, so there's a lot of other names like DMTK. I just like I like I said, I just don't really. The China names are still not out of the woods, and they look they're looking a little bearish today, unfortunately. If that makes sense. So I'm still long term on them, 100%. I just, um, yeah, that's gonna be my best outlook. Let's take a look at Prague. Yeah, Prague looks decent, but yeah. Um, for a swing, it looks okay. It's still very volatile though. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, it doesn't look terrible. What's up, KTG? How are you? Yeah, if China names weren't killing me right now, I would have been up a lot today. Unfortunately, Tiger and Futu are being kind of a pains in the butt today. Um, I'm gonna take a little bit off of Tiger and Yala, but yeah, DMTK looks good today. Very low volume. Wow, with Spy tanking like this, growth is holding up really well. So, um, yeah, so we talk about relative strength today. Growth has a lot of that. Let's look at IWM. IWM's doing a little bit better, but still a lot of relative strength from these growth names. Great to see. What's up, Gnarls? How are you? I don't think I've seen you in a while. How are you? But yeah, I did take NTRB. We'll look at NTRB. I did take a little bit off the table on Tiger and Yala. Looks like it's gonna be a pump and dump. We're just kind of fading out. There's no resistance down. Not really too excited about it. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna say that one more time. Futu and Tiger, I did take some off the table this morning. I'm about break even on them. They still seem kind of weak. Nearly perfect. Great to hear. They're kind of weak, so like I said, I'm taking those off the table. I'm still holding. I really like them, but just a little bit until we really see some momentum. Like I said, because all these other growth names are up so much, and Tiger, and they're just lagging a little bit, to be honest. So yeah, that was gonna be mine. If you guys are tuning in, any questions, let me know. But yeah, good morning. What's up, Charlotte? Bingo trending. I've been holding for quite a bit. All right, let's take a look. I know Bingo's one of those names that can just kind of rip out of nowhere, right? Um, so yeah, Bingo still we're in this zone right here. Looks good this morning, but long term, it's not really my most looks that bullish. What's up, Charlotte? Um, Unfortunately, but that's all right too. Yeah, like I said, when we talk about relative strength, right? All these growth names, they're doing really, really good, which I really like to see. Cannot spell. Perfect. Yeah, hopefully, like I said, I really don't. I took a little bit off of Futu this morning. Futu and Tiger are still really good long term. It's just the problem that I don't know, they're just not showing a lot of relative strength right now. Names like APPS and XP showing lots of relative strength. Even DMTK showing really good relative strength. Futu, so I did take a little bit off the table this morning, like I've been saying. So hopefully, um, when they come back to life, they're gonna come back hard. But until they do, I'm not really willing to sit here and wait. I'd rather have them in stuff like XP, XP, APPS, DMTK, some stocks that have been really really moving. Yeah, Bingo is picking up a lot of speed. So Good to see. If you guys are tuned in, you got any questions, let me know. Gosh, yeah, I just wish, man, that's, like I said, it kind of sucks that Neo and Futu are kind of taking down my portfolio. I've been up a lot today, but they'll have their day. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. Like I said, Futu shows stronger growth than APPS does. So I mean, for actual looking at just the fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with it. The problem is that we're just not seeing any love in China. What again? Baba's really been rallying recently, but just not a lot of strength from what we're looking at. So yeah, unfortunately. If you guys are tuning in, you got any questions, let me know. Wonder, yeah, Spy had this kind of flush today. Looked like we were kind of strong, but geez, yeah, Futu just keeps making new lows. Kind of painful. Let's take a look. I'll put this up here. Man, that's a really such a strong name this morning. Kind of a pain that China names are just not. Yeah, because even Neo, Baba, they're doing good. It's just the China growth names. Same story. They're just not getting any hits. We'll see if it changes, but yeah, decent from the other names for sure. And I did start a position in this company too. I did start a position this morning in Afram. I just added a little bit on there. Really, really like Afram. Great. And then I did let me look. Dean2K. Good. Yeah, like I said, I changed around. I took a little bit off the Tiger and Futu. I just moved those down a few percent. So like, just a few percent. Good morning. Good entries on those, not in either. Yeah, I mean, I really, really like Tiger and Futu long term. The problem is like they're just not getting any love. I mean, they're really, really strong stocks. They're just not getting any love. When I say love, I mean there's just no hits on them. They just keep going down. Like I said, I still really like them long term. The problem is again is sometimes just not a lot of relative strength. When we look at like relative strength, APPS has been on a tear. This is why APPS makes up 15% of my portfolio though. APPS is really one of my strong names for sure. There's no doubt about that. XP is doing so good. Another one that's really coming to life today as well that I always talk about, right? BioCryst. BioCryst is really having a good day as well. So most of my stocks doing good except China. But again, once that China sentiment returns, we're gonna be up lots of money. Yeah. So I mean, for me right now, I know people are asking, but like for Tiger and Yala, I'm just playing a small position. Once we can see the sentiment really, really come back, then I will make sure that I add some more. But until then, I'm not very interested until we see some relative strength. It's not even China in general; it's growth stocks in China, which are taking a hit. But yes, if that makes sense. But yeah, really, really strong from this name today. We'll be over 100 soon on APPS. No doubts about that. We'll see. Maybe we'll see a reversal on Tiger and Futu. I mean, they have been helping me recently, but sometimes they just Afram has having quite the pullback as well. I did start a position. Another growth stock I really like is Afram, especially on this big pullback. I like this levels right here as well. So BCRX a good time to enter morning, and thanks again. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, BCR. I really like BCRX. Especially as we were kind of closing over $15, we're going to see a big move. But yeah, I really like BCRX. Yeah, I mean, I like again, any time for these growth stocks are going to be a really good time to buy. BCRX is we hit this 200-day moving average, we bounced off there perfectly. I did want to take a look at Facebook. I know one of my followers is really big into calls right now on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook's an interesting spot right now. We broke this 200-day moving average, but right now is a really good spot to buy for Facebook. I think we're gonna have one more big flush before we see a nice move up. So yeah, I like that. Interesting. If you guys are tuning in, you have any questions, let me know. Um, yeah, it's very interesting though. But yeah, a lot of relative strength today in some sectors. So we will have to see. Hmm. So yeah, if you guys are tuning in, you got any questions, let me know. Let's see. So we will have to see. Hopefully the YouTube comments didn't go away, but let's take a look. Ugh. So yeah, if you guys are tuning in, you got any questions, let me know. These names look very heavy. Ugh, whatever. A lot of good names coming up. Even Yal is doing good. Yal is another growth name that I was invested in, but it ended up being a total scam. So, oh yeah, FSLR. My apologies. Let's take a look. Is that Fisker? Okay, let's see. Hopefully it loads. Ever is it FSLR? Okay, that's why. Okay, let's take a look at FSLR. So first Solar Inc. We have a lot. So this is my problem with Solar right now is we'll take a look at. Let's take a. I'm going to show you guys. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Okay, so when we're looking at a big company like FSLR, what we want to make sure is that our income statement looks good. Um, so annually, this is the problem. Annually and quarterly, we're just not seeing a lot of growth. We're declining every year and quarter. So for me, I would probably not buy. The energy sector is hot right now, but yeah, I mean that's a crazy move on the big market cap today. There's no growth year over year, so for me to be an investor, I'm not very interested. Does that if that makes sense? Yeah, unfortunately, and like I said, I really like some of these names. The problem with solar right now is it's just been on such a big tear that once energy starts to actually come back down, we're going to see a lot of weakness. If I am looking at energy stocks are almost the hardest to pick. Their cost of revenue is very expensive, stuff like that. But on the other hand, energy is something that's not going to go away. So I don't really play energy stocks too much. If you are, I know, like for example, Canadian Solar CSIQ has really good revenue growth. You just want to make sure that that revenue growth is in place when you're going to be playing these solar names, if that makes sense. Yeah, big today. Yeah, no worries. Let's take a look at Plug. Sure. Plug. Yeah, Plug is actually really bullish right now. Plug needs a little bit. Like I said, we broke out of this falling wedge the other day. We just passed our 200-day moving average, so it looks good for some continuation. But again, it's been very stagnant in this level. So for me to go long on Plug, I'd really want to see it over 36. We've really just kind of been bouncing from these levels. So for me, it looks like we kind of are getting to the top of this range right here. So we did break that 200-day moving average. Do like to see that, but you do have that other side coming at you as well. So yeah, very tough. I think for some things, I don't know. Plug would definitely be a hard name. We do need to see a pullback, and it does look, it's a little bit weaker out of some of the names for sure. But yeah, we did break our 200-day moving average, so it doesn't look bad with energy starting to run a little bit. Doesn't look like the worst play ever. So don't mind that at all. So yeah, does not look terrible. Okay, let's take a look. Ugh. Okay, whatever. Hopefully these names will come up today. I'm not confident, but we'll see. Let's see what Spy is doing. Spy looks pretty weak, as expected. Pretty decent. If you guys are tuning in, you got any questions, let me know. Appreciate everyone being here this morning. Lots of names with relative strength, though. When we talk about actual relative strength, there's tons of stocks that are showing a lot of relative strength. APPS, for example, I'm sure. I want to look at. I know some other ones that kind of follow APPS is like the Trade Desk, stuff like that, the whole digital ad space. So that sector's been really, really hot as well. Real estate as well. So when we look at real estate, there's a lot of good names in my opinion. I just like XP the best, but there is Zillow, and actually, one of my followers actually works for XP, and he told me he has a really positive experience with it. So that was pretty cool to hear in the Discord. I don't know if you guys saw that yesterday, but he was talking about how he really, really he worked for XP. He really, really likes it. He actually gets stock incentives too that he uses a lot, which is pretty dang cool if you think about it. Nice to have someone there. Yeah, nice. Oh, man, APPS is so. This is why APPS makes up 15% of my portfolio. There's a reason. It's not just an abstract number. I just love the name. I just can't. I can't buy enough APPS. It's crazy. I just like. So you guys have like there's gambling addictions out there. There's stuff like that. I have an APPS addiction. So when we're at 5% on my APPS addiction, I'd love to see that. Yes. Unfortunately, it's an addiction to keep buying APPS shares, but um, really like it. You guys are tuning in. You got any questions? Let me know. Want to take a look real quick at this. Let's take a look. Interesting. Okay. Very neat. Okay. Does anyone else have an APPS addiction? APPS addiction is strong. But yeah, if you guys are tuning in, you got any questions, let me know. I appreciate everyone on Twitch. I think we got like 13 viewers, so that is sweet. Appreciate all the follows coming in as well. If you guys want to talk about a stock, any tickers at all, let me know. We will go over those as always. Off topic, here's to know what was the verdict. Oh, yeah. So the stock Twitch guy, he said he really likes my channel. He was watching it. He was just talking about like me spamming the channels he wasn't very happy with as well. So we're gonna come up with a mutual thing. That was the whole thing. I was like, I'm sorry, buddy. I mean, there's nothing on the Q&A or whatever that says you're not allowed to. I get that it's probably not, but yeah, that's fine. Appreciate you asking though. Help me. I have any addiction, man. Man, there's a lot of addictions out here to combat for sure. Hearing any at a good price, man. Little rough day today, but let's take a look. I do think we'll have a lot of room to move up here on any for sure. When we look at this, looks like we're probably just making another bull flag somewhere in here, I would think. I really wouldn't want this 750 level to hold, but I think for the longevity of Eddie, I still think it's really, really good. I just want to, we had a really, really strong breakout yesterday, seeing a little bit of that, seeing a tiny bit of consolidation doesn't hurt anything. That's what I would say about that. Yeah, and he looks good, especially with the Bitcoin movers. I think it's a solid swing. definitely a solid swing. Especially someone like you who has a good average. I mean, you're looking just fine. Um, like I said, a swing, can take a little bit. You got to be patient with it, but as long as your thesis is there, you should be fine. Appreciate all the follows coming in as always. If you guys got any questions at all, let me know. I'm hoping that the Twitch chat is working. I have a feeling it's not though. Interesting. Um, I always think I was bamboozled on AEI and Verb. I just want to know when to cut my losses. Sure, that's when we were talking about cutting our losses today, right? I know James was talking. I'd rather, sometimes I'd rather cut my losses and put it back in a stock that I like a little bit more. And when I say a stock that I like more, something that's going to have a little bit, more upside. It's in an uptrend. It's just going to be more healthy that way. Hopefully my Twitch chat is working. Not too confident on that. I don't even know where. Okay. If you guys are on Twitch, I'd appreciate if you guys. Okay, maybe it is working. I don't know. Oh yeah, OCGN. Yeah, and then that's another one that we were watching, right? I've been talking Okijin up quite a bit for the last week. Wow. That's some really, really big moves. So, yeah. I'm holding Okijin strong right now. Like I said, I own a lot of, I actually didn't add that much as I should have on Okijin for such a strong chart. So yeah, Okijin, when we're talking about a technical breakout, this was absolutely perfect. I love what happened with Okijin right now. I'm very excited to see what's going to go on. But any catalyst at all is going to absolutely send this through the moon. Yeah, really, really strong right now. We did see 10 after hours, so we saw about 9:46. So 10 break would really, really start to get FOMO on some people to get in here. But for the most part, yeah, perfect technical break on. Okujin really, really like the setup so far. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Janelle. Yeah, does look pretty amazing, huh? Yeah, when we're looking at, a perfect, like I said, that was a perfect technical setup. Um, love to see it. Really, really like the setup. Really, really like to see it. Right. Thanks. Suck selling. Okay, I didn't even look at your stocks. Let's say, yeah, sometimes cutting losses is hard, but putting them back. Yeah, like this stock, honestly, I don't see any recovery. Don't like it at all. That looks like I don't really think we're gonna have much upside on that, and probably same thing. Yeah. Verb doesn't look bad right now. I would definitely wait a little bit on Verb. It looks like we could be making a higher high, but definitely that other one. I think sometimes cutting it is hard. Totally understand that. But sometimes it just has to be done, right? Put in a quality stock. Thoughts on CEI? Sure. Okay. Yeah, I think everyone can feel each other's pain on cutting losses. It happens to the best of us. Again, I'm not really long-term bullish on CEI. I think it has a lot of downside. We are this dollar, we do have a lot of support at this $1.45 to $1.51 range. If we break out of, $1.66, we could be good. We have a lot of support in here, so expect a very big downside if we break 143. But for now, we're kind of in this strong support zone, so not too. I mean, I'm a little bit. I would not be in CEI, but if you are in there, you like it, sure. That's your thing, right on. Not my thing. Yeah, Okijin is really starting to trap some shorts here this morning. Really like this. Like I said, I got shares at about 7 on OCGN, but yeah, really strong day so far. Want to see a little bit of a cool off, but yeah, nice moves. Most definitely. If you guys are tuning in, you got any questions, let me know. Man, if it wasn't for Tiger or Futu this morning, I'd be up so much today. But like I said, happens. Gosh, Tiger and Futu just not Just hoping we don't have like a 10% down day today on these. Not a bad day to add on these. I just not a lot of relative strength, so I did cut a little bit this morning. I brought down my Futu and Tiger holdings just a little bit, unfortunately. I brought them down to about 7% of my portfolio if we're talking about percent-wise. And I put that back into stuff that's been, relatively holding pretty well. So if we're talking about, APPS, XP, stuff like that. So if you are in those, I would just, make sure you're not fully added on Tiger and Futu. I think we have some downside for sure. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, APPS and Tiger are really, or APPS and XP are really my two stocks that are performing really well today. But yeah, there's nothing worse than an offering. Totally understand your guys' pain. I tell this story. I was holding like half of my portfolio in a stock overnight, and they had an offering, and it dropped 80% when I woke up. Yeah, offerings. That's the thing. That's why I don't really play pharmaceuticals too much. I just, it just absolutely kills me to wake up to an offering. No one likes an offering. That at the end of the day, offerings are just not fun for anyone. Offerings can be a good thing. It depends what that cash is going towards, but usually it's to pay off debt if they're running out of money. So usually an offering is pretty bullish or bearish. Unfortunately, which we hate to see. If you guys are tuning in, welcome, welcome. If you got any questions, let me know. Offerings overnight are so tough, yeah, and you just can't escape them sometimes, which is the sad. Yeah, sometimes you're just not going to be able to. You wake up and they're already down, and it's like, well, I'm already stuck bag holding. Unfortunately, sometimes that's just how it is, right? Futu and Tiger are not holding up well today, unfortunately. Sure, we'll take a look at VZ. Yeah, Verizon. Verizon looks really, really bad right here. We have really no support down. Don't really like the look of it. I know it. Oh, nice. I didn't even see Okijin. Sick. Wow, yeah, nice moves from Okijin. That should, if you guys are in that looks like it's going to pay nicely. So, yeah, congrats if you are in Okijin. I talked about the swing a little bit. Didn't bring it up a whole lot, but yeah, that is looking really, really good. Okijin over. We need to see a little bit of a cool down. We'll see a bull flag for him, but yeah, people are really starting to get FOMO right now. So, love to see Okijin making some big moves. Yeah, and that's another thing. Really, really like Okijin. Like I said, the only bad thing was I didn't end up taking as many shares as I wanted to. Unfortunately, when we're talking about a lot of shares, I was kind of in my Sing account. I grabbed a few shares. I wasn't really thinking about it too much, and then we started to rip, and I didn't want to catch FOMO. But I am holding some shares. If you guys if you guys are holding the shares, congrats for sure. We will see. I know Facebook is getting really ugly. I want to talk about Facebook. Facebook, we broke that 200-day moving average, but we do have a really, really nice chance to bounce right here. So I was talking about buying Facebook calls. I'm still waiting for that bottom to come in, but what's up? CEI. Like I said, CEI looks decent. If it can hold this. This is going to be the honest opinion. CEI, we look decent today. If we break over about $1.07, we could see a nice move. If we break below 140, I think we're gonna have some downside. But yeah, 147 could have a nice move. That's 100% sure. Decent moves for sure. I do want to talk about Facebook a little bit. Facebook looks really, really right down here when we're talking about man, we're sitting kind of right at our 200-day moving average. This could be our last fake out, but I'm looking for Facebook to bounce anytime here. I think this is going to be the last flush on Facebook, in my opinion. Facebook looks really, really strong right here. So, yeah, I am excited to see if Facebook is going to be able to hold that. Like I said, Facebook, yeah, we'll see. Might grab some calls if we start to see some big inflows coming in. I'm going to look at my put to call ratio on that. For the most part, does look pretty decent though, so that is sweet. When I say bullish for the most part, it still looks really bearish. What I really do like to see though is that we know we're still holding that 200-day moving average. We're getting pretty close to wanting to break that. So yeah, that'll be some big moves possibly coming up for that. Want to see that hold. Let's take a look at SPY. If you guys are in here, you guys got any questions at all, let me know. Yeah, SPY, we have this big SPY over 438 is going to be really, really bullish, but yeah, SPY looks okay. Tiger looks terrible. Futu looks terrible, unfortunately, for the old portfolio. I did cut down a little bit today. We'll be looking to add a little bit on some relative strength. Wow. Affirm really, really. So I did start a position in Affirm today when we were down about, well, APPS, super, super strong. This is another growth name I've been eyeing. Did buy some at about 133 today, so those are already looking decent. Really, really like Affirm. Super, super strong growth name. One of the better ones for sure. So hopefully we'll see some moves up. I do think Affirm will be trading really, really high at the end of the year. Crazy growth on Affirm. You know, I think we're talking, when I looked at growth, it's about 300% year over year. So it's up there with APPS and Futu. Really, really nice growth potential from those. Yeah, Okijin. I wanted to see a little bit of pullback on Okijin for sure. I have a good average, so I'm not really too worried about price action, you know, getting out. I do want to scale some out eventually. I'm not holding that many shares, so I'm not too keen to like actually, you know, taking my, you know, half the position off or something like that. We're going to let it ride is what they would say. Sorry, I missed your thesis. Facebook short term. Oh, man. That's fine with the whistleblower stuff like that. That's, you know, that I understand that, but my whole thing from Facebook right now is we are pretty much sitting at this. Man, it's really hard because we're sitting right at this 200-day moving average. We just broke it, so I'm, you know, when we look here, you know, we break this 200-day moving average. We usually see some upside. It usually bounces from here. But with just the downward momentum on Facebook, it's been so strong. It's almost, you know, hard for me to want to get a nice entry in there. So it's very hard for Facebook. I do think long term we should. Long term with any mega stock, wow, I don't even know what SPY is so choppy. It's ridiculous. With any, you know, blue chip stock, geez, these are making some really big moves down, unfortunately. But just look at this 4 hour. Yeah, so Futu not looking good at all. Man, half me wants to just cut these positions sometimes, but I think Facebook, you know, when we're talking about blue chips long term, Facebook will be back to all-time highs eventually. I think it's a really good discount to, you know, look for a buy. So for me, Facebook looks fine down here. Not really, you know, I think the whistleblower or whatever like that, I just don't think it's very significant news, in my opinion. So that's what I would probably say about that. Man, getting really beat up on Tiger and Yalla. Like I said, I did cut down some Tiger and Yalla today. Gosh, half me he's contemplating even, you know, cutting it a little bit more. So Tiger and Yalla, you know, great growth names. They're just not they're not just giving us the stuff we want. So like I said, I even cutting down Tiger and Yalla a little bit more right now. Really like the names, but there's just not a lot of growth. So there's a lot of growth. It's just the sentiment right now in China is just not holding up where I'd want it. Let's look at PLL, sure. Lithium, I know lithium's been on a run as well. For me, this chart, not really liking it too much. We will have a breakout over 61. yeah, I don't really like it this much. Looks pretty stagnant. Unless you were buying down here at 40 at the 49 range where we bounce off of, I really just don't like it. At 49, it doesn't seem like a terrible idea. 49 kind of seems like a level that we bounce off of consistently, but unless we're right there, just really not too excited about that. If that makes sense. Excuse me. If you guys are tuned in, you got any questions, let me know. Yeah, Facebook getting beat down. Lots of kind of, sometimes you just have stocks that get beat down. Unfortunate, but like I said, calls down here I think is a great idea. The whistleblower, all that stuff, really, when we think about is that whistleblower, Facebook has dropped about $50 billion, $60 billion in market cap. Is that whistleblower really going to worth $60 billion to the company? When we look at it, from that side, I just really don't see, stuff like that, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Hopefully that will make sense. But yeah, Tiger and Futu really getting beaten down today once again. So little unfortunate when you look at stocks like Alibaba really been going up. These have been pretty standstill. Oh, maybe I should stop looking at them. Even Baba's up today. Don't know what the problem is. Unfortunately, we've talked about CEI. Is it still worth investing? If you're out of it, I'd say out of it. Have we talked about WSKP yet? Yeah, you're welcome. No worries, June. Look at WSKP. Yeah, WSKP is actually very interesting right here. We have this really, really nice trend line that's been established. Anywhere right here on this trend line with a risk off at about 525 is a really, really good buy. I don't know much about the company. I've never heard of it, but this trend line is definitely in place. So as long as you're buying on this trend line, it doesn't look terrible. Good risk reward once we're right on that trend line, so I don't have a problem buying right there. Yeah, wouldn't say I have too big of a problem buying right there. And again, when we're buying at that trend line, great spot to buy. Not too worried about that. Yeah, like I said, I'd have a great day if Tiger and Yalla weren't down so much. But like I said, Tiger and Yalla, what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to cut down a little bit on that position size. Now looks like we might have a lower low again on Tiger and Yalla, or Futu and Yalla. So cut down to those positions, quite a bit this morning. Hopefully we can add on some strengthness because, like I said, long term, I really, really like those stocks, but they're just not getting any love. And I don't know if that's, China sentiment has, done a little bit better with stuff like Baba and Neo, but for the serious growth stocks, sentiment's still not really intact. That makes sense. Thank you for all the followers on Twitch. Appreciate it. I don't know why the notifications aren't popping up. Not too sure, unfortunately. What's your thoughts on CEI? CEI. I mean, if you really want to risk off a little bit more, like I said, this, if it breaks $1.43, we're gonna see a lot of downside. The only bullish thesis is if we can break $1.70. Don't really like it. Yep, sometimes you make some mistakes. You follow all the hype, just learn from it. Come back, the better mindset, you'll be fine. You'll recover it in time. Just you gotta, when stocks are up, it was up 1,000% in 3 weeks. You really gotta, question: is it worth buying? Could there be some more downside? And a lot of the times there can. So for me, I always want to make sure that my risk reward is in place and stuff like that. If that makes sense. Not sure how we have 35 people on Twitch, but appreciate everyone being on here on Twitch. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Yeah, I mean, that short report, when we talk about stocks being on a short report, some of them are, definitely, I wouldn't say necessary, but some of them, are valid. So I think that the short reports sometimes are valid, um, in my opinion, what I would definitely say. Yeah, again, they're just technically based. And you have a stock that's up 1,000% in 3 weeks, you can't expect it to just keep going higher. So, just learn from what happened and hopefully, put it back into some, quality stocks, growth stocks, or some quality swings. You should be good. I know we're in Ocugen early, so I want to take a look at Ocugen. I know first time here. What's up, Swift? Did you already go over APPS? Curious to hear your thoughts. I'm still holding leaps that are up way up. Yeah. So if we talk about my favorite growth stock ever, if you ask anyone here that's here every day, I talk about APPS every day. Earnings revenue 200% increase year over year. We're starting to see a lot of relative strength within this name. We'll be over 100 in no time. I think I looked on TradingView at 85. There's the 72 fib level, so we could see a drop from there. But for the most part, I'm really, really bullish on APPS for the long term. If you are holding some calls or leaps, I would, definitely maybe take a couple off the table, but I don't think, leaving a few would hurt anything, especially with such a great stock like APPS. It's funny you say PPS. Yeah, it's my favorite. Yeah, again, my favorite growth stock, along with a few others. But I do hold about 15%. It is my strongest. It's my biggest position by far. Hi mate, can you look at Baba today? I'm thinking of shortened, but not sure. Makes sense. APS is a natural progression for yeah, 100%. And yeah, just with the whole digital space, how many downloads they have and contracts. And I really like APPS. If you go into their acquisitions, they're really, really good at acquisitions. So really, really like that. We'll take a look. Yeah, again, I'm really, really long on, Baba. Baba looks. We're gonna have. I looked at our Elliott waves last night. I think we'll see kind of somewhere back to this 157s before the next leg up. Not a terrible idea, but shorting something this explosive, might not be the best. Yeah, and again, stocks like Tiger and Futu, some of my favorite growth stocks ever, just getting absolutely hammered today, which is unfortunate. Is CEI done? I mean, I'm going to give CEI the benefit of the doubt. I think if we break below $1.44, we're going to kind of get into that bearish zone. When we talk about, the bearish zone, we have that kind of last support right there, so that'd kind of be my risk off for the most part. You got to really just think risk reward of CEI. I just think, when we have these parabolic structures and these really, really big moves up, as soon as they go down, all that momentum is going to go down as well. So when the momentum changes on these, big parabolic moves like CEI, we want to make sure that we're, watching our risk reward and getting out when needed. So yeah, very, very tough day on Futu and Tiger. On the other hand, APPS, names like that doing good. OCGN looks really good. I have a really, really good swing. A $10 break is really going to send this. Going to give a lot of people FOMO. Like I said, I got like 750 ads on this. Saw that really, really. If we go back to this, it makes sense. We have this bullish triangle right here. Really, really started to coil tightly. We bounce off this 200-day SMA, and it is over for the shorts every time. That is 100%. Yeah, APPS, I love APPS. I really think it's going to be $1,000 stock in a few years. This is one you kind of put in that IRA, you tuck away. Same thing if we're talking about XP, if we're talking about BioCryst Pharmaceuticals. All three of those names are really performing good today, and they make up a lot of my portfolio. So really excited to see some names like that making some very, very strong moves. Again, cut down Tiger. I'm going to keep saying it because it's a little unfortunate, but end of the day, that's kind of what it is. If you guys are tuning in, appreciate it. We got 60 people here. Pretty crazy. If you guys got any questions at all, let me know. We will go over whatever you guys want to see. Also appreciate all the followers on Twitch. Yeah, and with BCRX, we're really, really looking like we're going to push up out of this falling wedge as well, which really, really, really looks nice. I have a debit spread in Ocugen. 9 to 10 chances will get assigned anyway to keep my buys for WoW. Any is declining along crypto. Yeah, we can talk about any. I have a debit spread on Ocugen from 9 10 chances it will get assigned. It depends with volatility. Don't know too much about debit spreads. the problem with debit spreads is that volatility is going to decrease the chance of someone getting it in that zone. So for me, don't really know too much. Wait, and keep my bias. Not sure what you mean by that. Yeah. So when we talk about any, the problem is here with any. When I've been talking about here, we have this really strong breakout. This looked like we had a strong breakout yesterday. Today's momentum killed it, but with this range play, with the range, we only buy at the bottom, we only short at the top. We don't want to buy in the middle of this range because there's too much risk. But could we see it down here and bounce off the support again? History repeats itself, most definitely. That could help, and that could definitely happen. Is T a buy? Let's take a look. For me, T-Mobile is not a buy. We've just had too much downside right here. There's no support down here. A dead cat bounce play potentially, but there's just no support down here. I just don't see this, having a solid bottom. What we'd want to see happen is if we do want to take a position here, we'd really want to start kind of seeing it curl up a little bit. And when I say curl, we kind of have our bottom and we'll start to kind of curl out like this, make a few candles and up we go. But T-Mobile for me is, yeah, it's kind of crazy it's down that much, but not too excited about the moves on that. CEI, I think we have one last chance, like I've said. One last chance, in my opinion. We have to hold this. If we break below this $1.43 range, we're going to see a lot of downside. If we can break above $1.07, I think we could have some upside. Momentum is kind of ruined on CEI off this parabolic structure. But our last chance, just seems like we do have a lot of support within that zone. So, yeah, we will see. If that zone can hold, cool. If not, probably going to be out. That's definite. Appreciate all the follows as well on Twitch. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Happy to answer. Man, love Okijin at these levels. I don't like Okijin at these levels, but I'm really glad that we're going up there. Wish I would have taken some calls, some more equities, 100%. But that is what it is. Yeah, and does anyone know? I'm not sure why T-Mobile is down so much. Seems kind of crazy. We talk of kind of not a blue chip stock, but a dividend giant. Usually don't see too much volatility on those names, so I'm probably assuming that some pretty serious news came out for that to have happened. So curious to see what will happen from that as well. It's it's AT&T. My apologies. Is T AT&T? My apologies. Thought that was T-Mobile. What's your typical indicator for anything short term? I stick to trading around VWAP and multi-day VWAP. For short, it depends. Short term for me is going to be major support break. So let's just pull up, SPY. So, if we're, talking about short on SPY, obviously we have a lot of support, down at 426, stuff like that. For me, 200-day moving averages, 200-day moving averages is a big indicator on the stock. For example, let's look at Facebook. Let's review here. We broke our 200-day moving average, lots of downside. For short term, there's a lot of candle patterns that lead up to that. For example, head and shoulders. So if we're looking, so let's say we're looking back on SPY and this is a head and shoulders. We're right here. This is our neckline right here. So this is our neckline right here. So as soon as we break that neckline, we're going to see some downside. So there's more patterns and stuff to that on the downside. For short, sorry, I kind of read that wrong. For short term, if we're talking about swinging a stock, volume is the biggest indicator. So, one of my swings right now, let's look at DATS. DATS, we start to see some really big volume coming into these swings. So, I entered a position right when we saw volume kind of pick up, around the 750s areas. Yeah, it still apply. Yeah, it does still apply. But for me, it's mostly volume and catalysts. So anyone have an exit plan on Okijin? Yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's volume for me and catalyst. For example, if there's good catalyst coming up for DAT strat, for example, in the next couple months, I'll swing that on top of good volume. we'll take a look at Prague, and then we can look at some exits for Okujin. Okujin is going to be really hard. Prague looks decent. The only thing, it does look a little bearish to me. If we look at the chart overall, we have seen lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. We did have a lot of momentum from this gap fill. But yeah, we are starting to make, again, we did make a higher high, a higher high, a higher high. So it looks like it's doing okay for now. Right now, we're stuck at a little bit of resistance right here. We have some good resistance right here. If we can break over 272, we should have a lot of ways up. Looks decent. I'd make sure you definitely have a stop loss under about $2. A little wide, but Okujin's a little bit hard. We were talking about this play before it even happened. We've been coiling for about a year now, a year and a half. Coiled really, really tightly into this move up. Usually when this bull flag coils on top of this 200-day SMA, we see some explosive moves. So really we could see some higher moves up. Again, if you do have shares, just make sure you're scaling some out as always. And, maybe take half off, because I'm up about 30, 40, about 30%. So for me, I'm looking to probably take off some here in a while. What is a website to look up accurate short float? All the websites seem to have outdated info. Yeah, short float's going to be really, really hard to calculate, because how you calculate short float is you have to go through your actual, because when you're looking at a short if you're looking at just straight the stock or a ticker tape, the shorts is going to come up as a sell. So it's really hard to find those actual shorts. So you're going to have to, the broker is going to have to display that through the hard to borrow program when those are coming up. I don't use short float. For me, yeah, you're welcome, KTG. I don't really short squeezes are possible, but I think they're overhyped in how often they can happen and how useful they are. And another thing to pay attention to is, on this channel, I just try to stay honest as possible. Half the time if a stock is getting shorted, it's probably there's probably a reason why it's shorted, right? Maybe the earnings were bad. Maybe it's just a bearish company. They've been declining for a while. So I don't really look at short interest too much. In my opinion, I can see where people are coming from. If there is shorts, you can definitely see them get trapped in some explosive moves up. I think Okujin was probably a prime example of that. I know Okujin has been very, very, it's been very shorted, but I think even you got to expect that people that have enough money to be in the hard to borrow program to be able to short stocks like this are going to have a general knowledge of, okay, I see that we're finally breaking out of this flag. We're going to see some upside. Let me cover. Most definitely, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's I think that some of these shorts, geez, small caps are up quite a bit today. Small caps are leading the way for sure. I do like to see that relative strength for sure. Does look very nice. Yeah, you're welcome. Minnie, if you guys got any questions, let me know. Happy to answer. Yeah, small caps are holding up fairly well today. Side Tiger and Futu, but that's okay. Yeah, short percentage, I don't know where you could look at that information. To be honest with you, not insanely crazy bullish about it anyways. Or, I don't really use that as an indicator too much. Yeah, that's just personal opinion. Again, there's a lot of people that probably do use it. There's a lot of different indicator strategies out there. For me, I just don't personally use it. That doesn't mean that they don't work or they're not valid. So whatever works for you, that's what I love about trading. There's so many different strategies and stuff out there that, whatever works best for you, that's great. Don't have a problem with that at all. Do you do order flow distribution? Yes. Order flow distribution is definitely something to look at. On top of that, when we're looking at just straight put to call ratio, so Unusual Whales, he has a nice website. It puts to calls. So for me, when I look, I think calls are a big sign. So if I see a really, really bullish sentiment on a stock, if it's at $3, we're starting to see $5, $10 calls come through. Pretty short expirations. Also, that strike price is a big indicator on those calls as well. So So that's what I like to see. Fintel. I don't know what Fintel is, James. So yeah, order flow distribution, yes, and then put to call ratio most definitely can be a huge indicator. I don't even know what DDD is. Is that 3D Systems? Is that Kathy Woods? Oh no. Yeah, we'll throw that on. Yeah, hold its 200 day. Let's take an example of what happens. So on DDD, yeah, looks like we bounced off about about 2-3 times. What we like to see is when on this 200-day moving average, what the most bullish thesis we could have is we start to coil up right here. We start a base and we go up. If we look at something like Nike, same thing. We hit our 200-day moving average, and we coil up, off we go. So I'm hoping with Facebook, if we can end the day a little bit better, we could start to make a base and curl right under the 200. Fintel, that's what you use for shorting? Okay, Fintel. Never heard of it. Interesting. But yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, that 200-day moving average is definitely a big indicator for if we're going to see some moves. Usually, like I said, stocks tend to hold their 200-day moving average. On the other side, if we break down more off of it, there could be a lot more bearish. Okay, thanks for that, James. Whoever is asking, there you go. That looks like we'll be good to go. If you guys are tuning in, welcome. If you got any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer that. Appreciate all the follows on Twitch as well. Yeah, I'm really thinking about moving all my content over to Twitch. So much easier to grow. Really like the actual, what do you call it? It's a lot rewarding for creators over on Twitch, so we'll see. So I do appreciate all the follows. If you guys do have any questions, let me know. Happy to answer those. Most definitely. Yeah, short interest, like I said, I know it can definitely be a thing for sure, especially if you start to see stocks pick up volume, move a little bit. Those short interest stocks could get hit. Most definitely. But, it just depends. I don't really look for that indicator, or strategy, I don't know what you'd call it. If you guys are tuned in, you got any questions, let me know. Did we go over Prague? I saw someone put in Prague, I can't remember. It'll spark memories if I bring it up. Oh yeah, we did. Okay. Let's take a look at Okigen. OCGN. One of these names, broke down from 9. Might look to take a little bit of profit here, but still think we have all this momentum. I think we could definitely start seeing some moves up. So not too worried about that. Do you stream every day here? Yeah. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays pretty much all day. Mondays and Wednesdays. Sometimes Mondays and Wednesdays I have school and work, so I tend sometimes to not be on for most of the day. Thoughts on Shiba? Sure, we'll take a Shiba real quick. Don't mind looking at that. Okay. Honestly, so Thinkorswim, what I use, doesn't really have a good, the best. So here, Shiba, what happened here, we had this really, really nice bull flag breakout. Looks like we're not holding it. Back on these EMA clouds, we are starting to look a little bit bearish on this 15-day EMA. We're turning back to the green. I think what will happen is we might bounce off of this 2.4 level. It doesn't look bad. I was really hoping to see some more continuation off of this really, really nice breakout. Ideally, we want to hold this low right here. It still looks pretty good. We had this really parabolic move, really, really parabolic, and we are holding it pretty well so far. So doesn't look bad. Nothing like too crazy bearish about it. I would make sure. Like I said, I was really hoping for a stronger breakout, but doesn't look terrible. Just make sure you're following your risk reward. You're not getting FOMO into it. There's not too much to talk about it. And also, not a whole lot. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Appreciate everyone tuning in on Twitch as well and all the follows. Appreciate it a lot. But yeah, Shiba. I don't know. Shiba, we're also getting to the point too where we're almost a 10 billion market cap. So, it's going to be really hard to start making massive moves without some, bigger buys. Once you start to see some big inflow come into, that might be a telltale sign. Yeah, people that say that's going to go to like 0.001, it's just not going to happen. When we just look at the market cap, it's already a pretty big market cap. I think Doge is kind of at like a 40 billion market cap, so we're getting up there in market cap size. So as we go up in market cap, it's really hard to get those. Yeah, Musk is going to accept Shiba. What percent is healthy to cut losses in the future? That'd be cool. So cut losses, it's kind of off risk reward. So when I swing or day trade, I technically stick with, I'll use 10% of my portfolio and risk off 10%, and that will leave me with a 1% loss if I do get hit. But moreover, we don't want to use arbitrary numbers in trading. We want to use stop losses and support zones because, you could say 10%, but, if we look at something like Okijin, we could risk off 10%, but we have, if we have, let's say we're back, let's look at something. Let's look at something a little bit better. Let's take a look at DATs. So you could, let's say we enter right now and it's like we could risk off 10%, but really we have a lot of support right here at 1092. So, we have a lot of support right here at about 1165. So, when you see I'd rather use support zones than just arbitrary numbers. But yeah, I do like the rule of 10% of your portfolio, 10%, and that will be a 1% loss. I kind of like that rule overall. That's kind of what I tend to follow for the most part. But it is hard to follow sometimes. So that's what I would say about that. And then, there's also some other plays like long-term stocks I'm not going to just cut because they're down. With long-term stocks, I always think the thesis is if nothing changes with the company and it just drops a few dollars, I'm not going to just sell. If your house dropped a few dollars, you're not going to just randomly sell, right? So that's my whole thesis behind that. Now, if something drastically changes in the company, but now when we're day or swing trading, off of highly volatile stocks that could just drop, really really quick. They've been elevated a lot of momentum, something like CEI. We want to make sure that we're not bag holding those because, revenue over year is really not increasing, and those are going to tend to probably go back down quite quick, if that makes sense. Dash Chat, really, really nice moves up today. Nice candle. Really, really nice candle. Futu, Tiger still killing my portfolio. Nothing new. APPS, super, super strong today. Really nice. I know we're getting really overextended on APPS. I know we have a fib level coming up at about 85, and a fib level is just what algorithms that the market uses and the banks to capture profits. So as soon as we get up to those fib levels, we start to see some consolidation and or a pullback. So APPS not a terrible idea to take a little bit off the table at these levels, but for the most part, I like it. See if this works. Oh, cool. Ooh. What's up, 194? Man, didn't want to have to. Let's see. Bozo. I've never gotten called a bozo before. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. Can we do it right here? Give me 1 sec. I missed out on Prague taking off now. We'll look at that 1 second. I'm not seeing. Damn it. Okay, whatever. I'll keep doing that. You can keep going back to yours. I don't even know how to use Twitch. I missed out on Prague. Sure, we'll take a look at that. Prague. Yeah, so Prague definitely. I still think we talked about this resistance line. If we can break over 275, we're definitely gonna have a very explosive move. Could get there as well. Don't know the news on Prague or why it's moving. I still think, long term, when we look at this chart from a long term thesis, I still think we could have a lot of downside. So, not, crazy interested in entering for a swing right now. Kind of looks like we are a bit overextended, unfortunately. If you guys do have any questions, let me know. We'll go ahead and answer those. Yeah, lots of really, really nice names today. Okijin, yeah, Okijin's holding that 9 level too. Been talking about that. We like to see, you know, we hold. I love that 9 hold on there. So hopefully, you know, we do need a little bit of cool off. We gapped up this morning. We are up a lot, but this consolidation on Okijin, you know, think we'll be ready for our next leg up soon. We'll take a look at that and see where we're looking at. Appreciate all the followers on Twitch coming through. Really, really means a lot. Appreciate it. All right, let's take a look at our multi-stream. So I'm going to look at Okijin real quick. OCGN. OCGN looks, you know, looks decent. Hopefully we can fill in a flag that looks something like this and have our next leg up. Does look decent for sure. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully that comes up right on. Okay. Not signed in. Can't switch the title. That's all right. Cool. Getting FOMO on APPS. Good entry on pullback. I know you keep saying any price is good, but I definitely want to get in sooner than later. I think with APPS, I think that we might need to see a little bit of a pullback, but there's nothing wrong with, you know, adding a few shares, and then if it does pull back, add a few. Just price point in. Don't go all, you know, all in at once. Just make sure you're, you know, you're price pointing your average a little bit, and then you should be good. You know, you never want to just go all in. So what I would do is, you know, add a little bit. If it dips, if it goes up a little bit, maybe add a little bit as well. That'd be my best advice. That way, if it goes down or up, DAX looks really, really good. Let's see. BNGO. Sure, we'll take a look at BNGO. BNGO. Yeah, BNGO looks decent at these levels. Let's take a look. My problem is that we're still in this channel range. Unless we can break over like 636, I'm not interested. Still looks on the daily chart, you know, it looks like we're kind of getting to the top of this channel. I would expect some downside here. Doesn't look that great. BL and K triangle setup. Yeah, so more of a falling wedge, but when we look at a stock on a downside, we really don't want to add at all. We only want to add when we break out of this. So yeah, triangle, we want to make sure that we still have a ways up before we're going to break out of this. So I would not go long until we break about 30. 30 is going to be a key level to break and hold before this chart is going to turn bullish. For the most part, you know, once we, again, let's look at same exact setup on Okijin. We got kind of the same chart coming in place. So yeah, I think we're gonna need another week or two before we really start to get ready for that move. But yeah, definitely like something like Okijin looks like we could make some potential moves up for sure. So yeah, most definitely. Does look like we're ready for a move up soon. I still think we have some coiling and some stuff to do for sure. So I wouldn't get too jumpy on it quite yet. We are at the bottom of this trend line. Not too bad of a spot to buy if you have a stop loss under 25. Stop loss under 25 is going to invalidate it if we break out of that triangle. But yeah, it looks really, really strong. Could have the same setup as Okijin. You know, when I'm looking at stocks to swing and technicals, I'm looking at stuff like Okijin that really have these explosive patterns. Especially if we throw some catalysts and stuff on that as well, we could see some really, really parabolic moves. So yeah, very interesting for sure. Hopefully, we can see some big moves. Like I said, I'll probably review it. I might put an alert at $30 on it, but I think we're going to need a little bit, probably like a week or two before we see a move. If you guys are tuning in, welcome. You got any questions, just let me know. News about Okijin coming out later today. Interesting, yeah. Good news will send Okijin. That's good news will send Okijin crazy. We'll see some very, very big moves. if that does happen. So yeah, very excited to see that as well. Um, if you guys are interested, I do have a Discord. I forgot to put it in. I forgot to put it in the Twitch, but I will give you guys the link if you are interested in joining. My friend is bag holding it and he keeps asking me about it. LOL. Yeah, I mean the triangle setup is there. We could see some upside. I don't know if we're not going to probably hit all-time highs if that's what you're thinking. Maybe after this setup, try to get out and get something a little bit better. Oh my gosh, this is so annoying how they're just all like this. But let's see. I'll put that in there if you guys are curious as well. Because I forgot to put it in Twitch, unfortunately. YouTube, it will work, so that is updated just fine. Yeah, I mean, this is my problem with Blink. Let's actually talk about what I like to do on this channel too. We want to look at what we want to look at is revenue. So let's take a look. We have $1 billion market cap, so not that big of a stock. Let's go to Yahoo Finance on the income statement. So when we talk about growth, we have had some really, really good growth from even 2019 to 2020 with electric cars. We have had some really, really good growth, especially quarter to quarter. Last quarter, it looks like we almost doubled in revenue. So this earning calls is going to be really, really key. But yeah, I actually didn't see this growth, but extreme growth. I want to see a beat, a good beat this earnings. Our cost of revenue is something to keep in mind. It is very expensive to run this company. Our gross profit ends up not being much. If we look to some of our cash flow assets, operating cash flow is negative. Same with cash flow. So the only problem here, it's really, really, it's got a lot of growth behind it, but it's just very unprofitable. That's my problem with that. We'll take a look at Naove. Yep, Naove is moving a little bit. Like I said, I talked about this yesterday. We had some, we broke out of this falling wedge, so seeing some continuation might be helpful. GWH, we'll take a look. Okay, so yeah, that's a fat candle. Looks like we IPO'd. Some of these IPOs, as you know, go explosive. A crazy move. Yeah, as soon as we break over this first candle, it's a big bullish point. These IPOs can run huge. Might have to day trade this for sure. We are starting to see a flag. Gonna want to slap on RS high to get a nice buy, but yeah, I might day trade this. Looks like it's moving. It's got a lot of momentum. I'm gonna slap on RSI. A little bit of pullback won't be too bad of an idea. But yeah, honestly nice cup and handle pattern forming as well. So might be looking for a pullback. Crazy. Up 180% on Blink. That's crazy. Yeah, too bad. Only 70 shares. That's crazy. Man, I wish I was up that much. Great earnings, just very unprofitable. Yeah, we'll take a look at CEI. Like I said, this is a big level to hold. Unfortunately, we did break that. Or it looked like we might. If we do break that, like I said, probably going to be pretty bearish. We'll probably see some big moves downside. Only 70 shares. That's unfortunate. Still good money. Maybe on a pullback, I will be looking to enter something like GWH. Looks like it could present a quality opportunity. But yeah, could see a nice move from there. So currently not. I lost 4K in CI. Yeah, I mean, man, sucks. There was a lot of FOMO going around on that stock. The best thing I could say is maybe cut your losses, try to get into some a little bit better. CEI is honestly a terrible company. We went 30 cents to $3 pretty quick. So yeah, in my opinion, I just don't think it's the best. I don't like it, but just take it as a learning lesson. Happens to the best of us. I'm sure all of our people that have been in the stock market a long time have lots of stories about losing money to things like that. It just happens, unfortunately. Nice pullback on GWH. Could see some potential bigger moves coming up. Yeah, it happens the best, you know. I think that this, I'm actually going to look a little bit better for you too. Let's take a look at this 4-hour chart. Okay, really, our last, our last hope of holding is probably like $1.34. I mean, really, $1.42 is where my stop loss would be, but I really just don't think we're going to go too much up, unfortunately. I have been stuck in IDEX. Man, IDEX. I do like IDEX too. IDEX is exponentially. IDEX had a really, really good earnings. IDEX down here honestly presents a quality opportunity. I really like this company. Let's take a look. Really, really like IDEX. Like I said, pretty quality company. IDEX, when we go to Yahoo Finance, you'll see financials have been really, really good. And not annually, but quarterly. Very hard from 2020 to 2021, we almost 3 to X, so there's really, really good growth here. I want to see next earnings. Annually, this company's been like kind of scammy. They used to be a different company and switch, so that revenues actually doesn't match it. So that's very interesting to look at as well. Yeah, IDEX. I remember one of my first plays I made a lot of money on, but yeah, not looking the most bullish out of everything. That's for sure. Could be a lot more bullish, but that's okay. I still think long term the company's good. Now the question is it going to go up, down? I think it's going to take some time for sure. That's most definitely. If you guys are enjoying the content on Twitch, I would appreciate a follow. We're trying to at least get partnered there. Or I don't know what the word is. With I think 50 followers, you can start getting subs, stuff like that. Pretty interesting. Yeah, a lot of these names, Shiba Coin is really cooling off today. CEI, a lot of these big momentum names kind of taking a break, which makes sense. We do tend to see some, everything that makes parabolic structures up sometimes comes down. But if you guys do got any questions, let me know. And I know BNGO, I think Kathy has that too. There's a lot of bullish things about that. But I just haven't, I don't play genomics and stuff like that. So it'd be hard for someone like me to give a intuitive opinion. Futu and Tiger getting absolutely demolished today. Kind of unfortunate, but like I said, I cut those names quite a bit this morning. Names like XP and APPS really, really doing well. So glad to see that. Most definitely. Looking for just hopefully for the last 4 plus. Yeah, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I doubt it does. Looking to buy in PTGX dips. What do you think? It's worth it. PTGX. Take a look. Yeah, so when we're talking about, we are getting pretty close. Actually, no. Sorry, I thought we were down here. So I honestly don't like it. The problem right here is we had this really, really nice gap fill. We had this really, really nice gap fill, but we're almost to the top of this gap. And if we break below $32, there's a gap fill down now. So no, I don't like it at all, to be honest. Too many gaps to fill. Like I said, we already had a pretty big gap fill up, so I doubt that we're gonna see much of a gap fill in general, back up or down. So that's my problem with it, unfortunately. Yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, there's definitely a world where this goes up, but yeah, we're actually getting really, really close. We're gonna see a lot of downside. Watch this. So at $32, once we hit this gap fill, we're gonna see tons of downside. So once that does hit, you will see. Well, I was thinking of any into either. Yeah, I think any would be decent. I can't recommend anything because I'm not a financial advisor, but so I would wait off an any. We're looking at any as a range play. Any, we have this bearish engulfing starting to form. With this range play, we never buy in the middle. I would be interested down at about $5.64. That's where there's a lot of support. Any looks okay. I'm currently swinging. I'm currently swinging Datch chat. I think Datch is a really, really good swing if you are interested to put some in. Do you have a YouTube channel? Yeah. That's where most of the people are here. YouTube is where we start. I'm trying to branch out on Twitch, but Yeah, here's the old YouTube channel right there. So that is that. Yeah. Yeah, that, and when I'm looking, I don't know if it has necessarily any catalyst. The catalyst behind it is it's Bitcoin. I know they just got some new miners and stuff like that. But that'd be my thing. And I know SPY, I just looked at my portfolio get pooped on, so take a look what SPY just decided to do. Maybe it was IWM. I think IWM just dipped a little bit. Yep. What's your take on Pet V? Sure, we'll take a look. I've never heard of Pet V, so I'll look at the chart. Maybe if it's good, we'll look at financials. Don't like Pet V. The only bullish case is if we break 426, we have a gap fill. But pretty ugly chart. Not interested. If we break 426, though, we could see some upside. So, you do have that going for you. You have that gap to fill. Could see some potential moves in there for sure. So, that's what I would say about that. But yeah, YouTube is just super hard to grow on, so we're gonna try Twitch out. The problem with YouTube is getting up high enough on the algorithm to even show your content to other people is very, very hard. So Twitch is a little bit more fair. People can find you a bit easier, and getting partnered with Twitch is easier. Well, kind of. There's a lot of things that I like about Twitch. So we'll see what happens over on that side. Appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate all the follows. If you got any questions at all, just let me know. And he has a merger coming up with Quarter. More machines due any day now. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, mergers, acquisitions are always key for a company. And then yeah, again with I know they're Bitcoin miner. I think they ordered like 60,000 miners or 600,000, something like ridiculous. That was on the news. So that news is setting it up. I still like but I think that we might see a little bit of more downside before we see a push back up, unfortunately. So that's what I would say about that. If you guys got any questions, let me know. We will go over that. Yeah, IWM looks strong, but also weak at the same time. It's kind of interesting. IWM is leading the way today, but it does still feel the market still does feel a little bit sluggish on some names. Still really with SPY, we had that gap down yesterday, and I wanted to talk about that too. I actually failed to see it, but I did see it a little bit. I did talk about it, but I didn't take any action. But when we're looking at graphs, sometimes we can predict the moves before it even comes. So I'm going to show you guys on SPY. I wish I would have taken some puts yesterday. I really saw that. I saw this, didn't really see anything. But when we look at SPY on the 1 day, again, we had this perfect. We're going to have to look at the 1 year, 1 day to see gaps. But we had this really, really, really big gap, from 437 to 435. It touched that gap and it's been bounced off of there. So yeah, Naked is also looking for clean energy. Yeah, I don't like Naked. Naked is one of those stocks I just won't touch. Super volatile. It usually, whenever it has these big gains or news, it just usually sells off really, really quick. Shorts probably just short those little spikes. That's what I would do at least. And I also think that since that run up from about 6 cents, now it's at 60 cents. I don't know. Yeah, we can look at FAMI. I know people have been asking me about FAMI. I haven't really looked at it recently, so let's take a look. We can for sure take a look. No worries. FAMI. Oh, spelled it wrong. FAMI looking a little bit better today. We broke this falling wedge. The problem is if I look on the 1 year, 1 day, the graph still is out of tact, and for me, I just don't like it. We're pretty overextended from 19 cents. We might see a little bit of ways, but yeah, from overall, the graph is kind of beat up. We already had a big move, so for me personally, not too inclined. If that makes sense. Oh, cool. Cool. But I am. Let's see. close that out. Great. Tiger and feet too. Pain in my butts. Especially Futu. That's all right. Yeah, it looks like I did take some off the table. It looks like we're about to make it. Maybe we have a double bottom here, but looks like we're heading back to that 80 level, unfortunately. Don't like to see that, but that is what it is. How long have we been live for? About an hour 30. Okay. Do have some things to do today. I do have my birthday is tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm going to be live tomorrow too much. Might stream in for the morning, but like I said, I have some things to do tomorrow. We're gonna turning 21, so I'll probably be doing some fun things. So I don't know. I need to get ready for that tomorrow, and then like get homework done and caught up for classes that I'm not going to be there for tomorrow, and some things like that. So let's take a look. Twitch. Okay. Perfect. So I'm gonna answer a couple questions, and then I am gonna head out. I have my Discord if you guys are interested. All my socials should be below whatever you're watching. So if you are interested in that, you guys have that option. I hate to end it on 37 followers. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Thank you, JC, Sam, and Rebecca. It's tomorrow. Yes, yes, James. There will be some of that, but yeah, that is tomorrow. So I got to get some homework done stuff. I might be later, might be live end of the day tomorrow, but yeah, again, appreciate all the support we're doing. Yeah, we did really get on Twitch today. Like I said, I changed up this channel. We got a lot of more views, so that was pretty cool. Stock Jock. Need to get a host from him. Like, this guy doesn't even talk. It's very strange. He doesn't even talk. He just kind of like streams. It's weird. Yeah, we got some good followers today. Appreciate that. I will post a couple videos. So thank you, James. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I will probably be live a little bit tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. I need to start. I want to start posting more videos. Sometimes it's hard to live stream. I just get so busy sometimes, but videos would be nice. Thank you, Dwight. Appreciate it. I haven't seen you in here today, Dwight. Hello. But yeah, what I do, 21, you're quite amazing for being so young. Thanks again. We appreciate you so much. Yeah, you're welcome, Rebecca. Thank you. Yeah, I know. It is kind of crazy. Here, let me see. I look like I'm about 16, though. Let's see. Did I really not have my camera up today? I swear I had my camera up today. Damn, that's probably why not all the views are coming up. Okay. I seriously thought I had my camera up today. I don't know why it wasn't up. Maybe did I take it down yesterday? All right, cool. There we go. I didn't know this wasn't up today. I apologize. And also my Twitch notifications aren't coming through too. Unfortunate. Thank you, Janelle. I appreciate it. But if you guys have any questions before we head out, we'll answer those. Yeah, thank you, Janelle. Yeah, it's crazy that I'm 21. It's kind of strange. Very strange. Okay, hopefully that'll be better. Right on. But yeah, hopefully again. I did take some off of Tiger and Futu, but quite annoying. But that's okay. If you guys got a couple more questions before we go, we'll answer those up. I was like watching like all the big guys on Twitch yesterday, and it was strange. Like this guy didn't even like talk. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, I mean I don't plan to do anything too crazy. Like I have a twin brother and he's in the army right now. He's out for a week, but like again probably go gamble a little bit. I don't really like bars that much anyways. Like I'm not gonna pay $15 for a drink and be around just annoying people all night. I'm chilling on that. I'll just go hang out with my friends. I never liked the idea of the bar. Just like go hang around weird people and pay $15 for a drink. I'm good. Go to starting to look a little bit decent. We have this big gap up to, not a big gap up, but we actually, yeah, up to $9. here for a swing looks like it is not bad. I want to see a pushback. I think a pushback over 435 I'd go long. Does look like we could have some upside to that. For the most part, though, it looks like we're pretty downtrending. But yeah, that the break of that level could definitely send it in that gap to fill range, most definitely. So that is exciting. Interesting. You guys got a couple more questions before we head out. We'll answer those. Wonder what the intraday is looking like. Did we spike? Wow, we did spike this morning. Looked like we were about to fill that gap. Faked out a lot of people, I'm sure. Interesting. But yeah, honestly, even ads at about this 386 level don't look terrible either. Okay. Also, if you guys I also have my Discord too in all the bios if you guys want. I still gotta post some stuff. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do with Patreon yet. That's a whole other story. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with that. Yeah, I woke up today. There's like 2 Patreon subscribers. It was crazy, but I still got to figure out what I'm gonna do with that. That's a whole other story within itself. I have no ideas. All right. Do you think November will be more? Yeah. Historically, October. Actually, no. September, October. Yeah. See a mini clip. You're welcome. September and October are typically bad for the market. We start to see it kind of the market come back in December. Yeah, September, October, November, really the choppy months. Later part of November, we start to see a little bit more strength, but December through January, December, January, we start to see some nice moves. And that doesn't always follow it, but that's just historically. Historically, October is really not that great. Sometimes it can, we've had great October sometimes, but it's also kind of like, I don't know. That's just for a SPY, the S&P, historically. Again, yes. GT700. Okay. Well, if you guys got any other questions, let me know. Cool. All right, amazing. I appreciate all the follows on Twitch today. Yeah, hopefully we'll start. Like I said, I would like to start growing on Twitch. It's a lot easier. So hopefully that will hold up. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm gonna end it here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll stay in the chat for a little bit, but you guys have a good one. I might be live a little bit later today. I just got some adult stuff I have to handle.